provide parking, provide charging units for new developments, etc. So there is a lot of work in the background which is going on. In essence,
and the message earlier was this is sort of a phase one. You have to lay the foundation, get the awareness going,
yes.
and then you go from there to improve.
One of the key pillars in the strategy is infrastructure. To supplement the infrastructure, we have something called the enabling, which is the awareness, the incentives, and all the other things that go with it. Because people are not aware of EVs and the benefits of EVs.
And I mean, the thing
I
think the thing I've been saying for 3 or 4 years is the biggest barrier to quicker EV adoption is simply awareness.
Yes,
awareness
yes.
and experience. So the free charging is a great way to bring. I mean, Nissan uses this, Tesla uses this.
We are promoting free charging at the initial stage just to entice people to understand.
To make people think, hey, maybe I should try it out. Maybe I should look at it. You know, it's free.
If I may come back to your question before, our situation is a little bit different than, let's say, MG situation, because they're they're global company, we're a local company, a small company. And
but EV Box was small until March when they got bought by MG.
Yeah.
I mean, they were basically following the same thing you're doing, but in the Netherlands.
In the Netherlands.
And now you're doing it here.
Yeah, but we come from a parking background.
Right.
That's very, very important. It's really critical. And then you see, you know, more than 90%, actually 95% of the lifetime of a car, what does it do? It sleeps, it sparks. So where do you normally charge your car? Normally you charge your car in the parking. This is where we are. So we are the biggest parking company, private parking company in UAE. And we are installing chargers in our car park. So again, what I said today, it's going to be free at least 2019, and maybe we'll expand it, because what we're thinking about is, okay, people have to come to our car parks. We're not going to charge them, but maybe they want value-added services. Maybe they say, okay, let me get this app. Oh, is the charger free? That's very important, what you said before. Is it free or not? So we have to allow smart charging networks, so people can see, is there a charger? And they can book a charger. I can book a charger, I give you a time to come. And then I can choose, oh, you know what? I can wash my car. Okay, click on this. So we charge maybe for the wash of car.
And I know you drive an EV, because these are the things, if you're in the EV industry, it's one thing. Once you drive, we drive a Tesla at home.
Yeah.
And you look for free. You look, if you can book it and make sure it's...
It's there, it's for
that's
you.
A very
and we put the license plate, actually we connect it to the license plate. It shows, don't take the space, it's already taken. If you come with your card, which we give you, you cannot use it because somebody else already booked it. So we give them like a grace period of time to come and do that. And then they can book value-added services. And here, now you have, this is new, the cultural background. And the revolution is a little bit different. You see, here, you can't expect a lady to charge the car. Okay? You can't expect a lady in our environment here to get out of the car, to take this 1-ton cable, which is most of the time dirty, okay, because we have a lot of dust, and then plug it in the car and plug it in the charger. You can forget about it. So, another value-added service that we might think of is somebody is waiting for you when you book the charger. And then you say, oh, would you like somebody to take this service for you? And then this is maybe something that we can think of, value-added services, but not the charging itself. I think the charging itself can remain for free.
I think it's a mental, personal thing as well, but I remember the first time I pulled out the cables to charge a Tesla at a 22 kilowatt station, I thought, oh, my wife would never do this. You know, this is a barrier to mass adoption. It's not just women, but there's a lot of people, men, who also just, they don't want to mess with cables, so it's making it convenient. Well, you and the hotels, IHG hotel group, I come back to the Wi-Fi issue. You know, maybe before people charge for Wi-Fi. Now it's expected you have to have Wi-Fi, and the places that were quicker to get Wi-Fi attracted business, right? And I know you've highlighted repeatedly, you attract more business with EV charging today, and then at one point it's going to be just expected, and at that point it's like you have to have it. So can you speak a little bit more about?
Very much so. I mean, Wi-Fi journey from nice to have to you have to have it, then it had to be free, to free with a decent bandwidth.
Yeah.
It's very, very similar to what we're talking about here with putting in the stations, charging stations. And we want to, in a sense, go as fast as we can based on the electrical capacity of the hotel. There's also we love the more in, but there's a little bit of a chicken and egg as well. The hotel don't want to have rows of charging stations which are empty in their prime location of the car park. So the market has to catch up. The demand and the consumers with electric vehicles have to catch up with, in a sense, the forward thinking.
But the thing with disruptive technologies and disruptive transitions is that happens in this exponential way, right? So I think that's been a barrier with regulation, consumers, and businesses. Is but we want to wait for when it's happening. But if you wait too long, then you miss the story. I mean, frankly, the leaders in the Netherlands became giant companies because they led before it was really sensible, and then no one else could really break in. We're seeing the same thing in other emerging markets. I think this is one of them. The story, of course. Tesla must have a lot of buyers here already because they have a pretty developed network, and they don't develop a supercharger network where they don't have quite a big market. So this is already a developing good market for Tesla. But we have this point where the Bolt is just arriving to the region, the new Leaf is just arriving, the Zoe just arrived a few months ago, and the Model 3 is coming, which is half the price of the S and X, that all of a sudden more mass market buyers can get. So once you have those choices, and the mass market is, hey, there's cars, you have to have the charge.
But this is the most critical thing, and I would agree with Adrian before, is, you see, if somebody comes to us today and say, okay, I need another 100 chargers, I would say immediately yes, for free. Because the biggest challenge we are facing so far, and we have been facing the last couple of years, the buildings here don't have spare power. Sometimes I go to a building, it's like, I don't know, 1 kilometer high, and I say, and they tell me, I need a charger, I need 2 chargers. Okay, we come. And then we both find out there is not enough spare power to connect a simple 22 kilowatt charger. So that's why we say, okay, whoever is able to connect first has a huge advantage. Because if you decide a year later you want to come in, hey, there's no connection left.
And it's these little things that you don't know until you. But that's the thing about being a leader is when you are first to get this kind of access or to get this kind of consumer awareness or to get, then there's a benefit. It's very hard for an investor or an entrepreneur. I'm also that to look at the money you're losing every year.
You have to close your eyes.
But you have to close your eyes. You have to say we're not looking at the spreadsheet. You have to understand the vision, the 10-year, 20-year vision. So I think that's key. But
in terms of looking at the long term, some of the issues that you're highlighting now are being addressed with policy, especially in the so, for example, the developments, we are inquiring to do it at the planning stage.
And what is the framework for how this? Obviously the leadership said, hey, we need to do this. But what's the framework? Is there a plan? Is there a division?
There is a plan. There is a strategy. There is a set strategy, which is called the ownership strategy. So that drives what needs to happen in the next 5 years, 10 years, and 15 years in terms of how we move forward.
And then is there a division that's focused on that, or is it across divisions?
It's led by a committee which consists of various government stakeholders, because this is not something which is part of the team can do. So there are stakeholders who all play a part in doing this, whether it's the transport department, whether it's the police, whether it's the EAE or others. So there is a stakeholder of entities that are responsible for delivering the strategy. We play a part because we drive it, we vote it, so they are the entity that leads it. In terms of planning, in terms of making sure the infrastructure goes in. So, for example, to start the infrastructure, we're working with the private sector, okay, to put the chargers in at the malls, at the hotels, at key locations where people will go and charge their cars. In terms of the public parking, we are working internally within our teams to make sure that public parking spaces are covered. It's a step process. It will take time, but the infrastructure will be rolled out.
And you definitely have to look at our report that we publish next week about design standards that regulators should be paying attention to. There should be taking. I'm sure you. But maybe you'll find a couple of nuggets there. But I know interoperability is hard for anyone. Just interoperability is hard, is important, and you've highlighted this repeatedly. but it's been implemented in different. I mean, there's sort of been different approaches to it in the U.S., in Western Europe, in Germany. There's different ways. What do you see as a perhaps the most useful or best or way for this region to look at this issue?
So, okay, I'm not the guru of it.
I don't.
So disclaimer, but I think it's very important for a small country like, for instance, the UAE, to try to talk at a higher level rather than remaining Emirates by Emirates, because there could be the temptation of having everybody working in this corner and then Tata, and it makes
Tata too. The Indian company. No.
like Tata, yeah. It makes the usage actually or the user friendliness of EV more complicated. And you want to have something that is very easy to use to trigger adoption. So I don't have any methodology, because again you see it happening in different markets, and in the US it works,
So
and
is it something the regulators?
in Europe it works. But I think
You expect the regulators to sort of take this
to at least trigger this dialogue. Then they end up doing what they want. But I think it's an important dialogue. And I would see it even a step further, because today, again, we talk about infrastructure, so us charging station. But yet, if you look at the car manufacturers, today it's open in the UAE, but Saudi, it's still quite complicated. Kuwait, I think it's still a bit complicated as well. Oman, actually, last year we went with our charging station, and the electricity company came and they say, "What is it?" So, I mean, this is a small market, this is a small region. If you look at the graph today, the Middle East is not even represented statistically speaking. They are part of others.
They should definitely have a regional.
Exactly. So if you want to, if they need to be on the map, and to be on the map, it has to be a broader dialogue, a higher up dialogue. And for me, I think this is really key on interoperability, on car imports.
We need a new name for it.
Yes, we need a new name, definitely.
But
on regulation, on the building, on the commitment.
Roaming kind of.
Yeah.
But there have been very private sector initiatives, like in Germany. There's just a startup that's integrated done the work of connecting with all of these providers and bringing them together and saying, hey, you can just use our card to charge anywhere. Automakers have come together in some instances, BMW, Nissan, in the US. But getting back to the design thing one more time. We just have a couple minutes here. I know you're a leader on the hotel front, bringing in EV charging stations. What have you learned to look for and to sort of require? There's a lot of products out there you must look at and consider and even install.
I think we have two types of guests. We have the overnight guest, and we have the meetings guest, the transitory guest. So there is a mix of requirements in terms of one, working to the capacity of the hotel's electrical. So the slower charges are fine for the overnight guest, but the faster charges are absolutely needed for the transitory guest. And being able to service both of those is very, very important to us. And working in a way that our business is serving people in the hotel. It's not doing Sam's job, for example, doing parking. We need that to be, we love the service, we want it to be there for our guests, but we can't really have our hotel staff spending a lot of time on it. So
stations that are networked,
it needs
smart,
to be self-sufficient with a brand that we trust, reliable, and maintenance. They need to know that it's not working, for example, before our staff do. So those are the things that are critical for us. But we very much welcome them being in our facilities because our guests are asking for them. Now those guests are individuals, but they're also now companies that are putting green fleets together. So it's all a positive, and hopefully we'll be coming back to Sam and saying, actually, thank you for installing 1 or 2 points, but actually we need 10, 11 points because the demand is asking for it, and the hotel will have to balance its electrical capacity.
So we just have one more minute, I think. So we'll just see if we have one a question from here. Here's a question from the audience.
I just wanted to check out, we are the first ones to have electric cars in a fleet. Shift Car Rentals, I am from Dubai, we also have a presence, AW Rustamani company, and we have just taken some Renault Zoes. We were also talking about free, like you said, why do we have free? We do not have that kind of, money that the other governments give in terms of, they're really subsidies in the Europe and all. So hence, we're just talking about free charging, we're talking about free RDA tickets, that's maybe, RTA tag and stuff like this. Free charging is there, and you also have free charges in your green parking. Do you also have free parking? Can I also add that as a value to my customer?
Do you offer free parking for EVs? I think anybody.
That's for Sam.
Or Sam.
Abu Dhabi also offers free parking. We come to that.
To answer on our side, yes, the plan is to have the space as well as the charging for free for some time.
But that's only till the time it's charged.
Yes, there's a limited time. I think 3 hours is the limited time, but there is a limited time that you can charge and park your car for free.
What about you, Sam? Are you planning to give free parking also?
Yes, we're planning to give free parking. The thing with us at the moment is that we are still considering the best way to do it operationally, because let's say you're coming to the car park, you would have free parking while you are charging, but you might enter the car park and you might not know whether the charger is available or not available. So what we're doing at the moment, and I think next month we're going to make a press release about it, is we're introducing our own app for the network. Yeah. So that means for these chargers we're installing now from Abu Dhabi to Oman, enabling you to see which charger is free and which charger is occupied. If a charger is free, allowing you to reserve it. Once this is technically possible, once we have introduced that, then we have to connect it to our parking app. So we are introducing a parking app. And now you have two worlds. You have the charging app, charging world, and the parking app, parking world. We are making an interface till the end of this, middle of this year, to allow you to connect both together. So you would enter our car park by using our parking app. And while using the parking app, you would then be able to click on, okay, I want to charge my car. And if you enter in time, then we will give you a free of charge charging time and parking time, maybe 1 hour or 2 hours, to allow you to do this service without us charging you for the parking. So this is the necessity to be able to us to announce it.
I live in the business bay where in front of my house is a green parking.
Business bay, which one?
Executive Towers.
Yeah.
Okay. And if I do choose 8-hour slow charging, would you allow me to park my car for 8 hours?
We don't deal in the 8-hour chargers, to be honest with you. We're not interested in the home chargers, because the home chargers thing should be solved by the towers. This is not the intelligent chargers we want to offer to the public. We're only interested in the medium ones where you can charge your car fully within 2 hours, or in the fast chargers, because we don't want somebody to occupy a space for 8 hours just because we have provided a stupid in apostrophes, stupid charger that's only allowing you to charge. You can't. It's not your mistake. It's actually the charger mistake. So that's not our business, yeah.
I just wanted to check with you, Laura, that 0 to full. What is the fastest charger that are available these days?
So within the EV box range.
Within the EV box and otherwise.
I mean, now you have super fast charger where I think it takes 1 hour, even less. And EV box, I cannot say too much now, but we are working on entering quite in a big way in that space as well.
Does it depend on car to car? Is it that for
and
Tesla?
Of course. And the more the car are also evolving, the battery are evolving. I mean, this is a bit of a moving process. Huh?